Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we have two of my very favorite players going at it on the ladder. We have Rush here in the bottom right, one of the best Terrans from the last several years. I'm sure that you are all very, very aware of him. He's had great ASL results. His style is like in between, maybe like light and sharp or flash and sharp, that type of thing where it's like, okay, we have a good amount of vulture harassment, but it's backed up by some of the best macro in the world. I absolutely love his Terran versus Protoss and his opponent here in the bottom left. This is someone I have casted a lot of games of on the channel. One of my very favorite Protoss players, it's Ruin. I really appreciate the complete modernity of his style, okay? Ruin is always on top of the metagame. For instance, I believe he was the first person in ASL to use the Forge Nexus first. And like he's had a lot of games in ASL where he had it won and then end up losing. You know, obviously he's still someone that's rising up and very quickly, I would say. Absolutely love this Protoss. And there, I mean, as you guys probably know, there's not like a lot of Protosses that I really like, but I'll watch just about any Ruin game. So let's see how this goes down. Obviously, Rush is considered a bit stronger and should be favored here, but I would never want to discount Ruin. I think that Ruin is like the way that he plays, the fact that he's always on the cutting edge of the metagame, and he's solid at everything, right? He's good at micro, he's good at macro. I think his decision making overall is pretty good. That's always somewhere I think that Protosses can improve upon. Probably everyone can improve upon, but that oftentimes, to be completely honest, oftentimes that is what is lacking from Protoss players, is oftentimes the decision making. But yeah, we'll see how it goes down here. I think it could be a close and tightly contested one. So anyways, as we kind of wait for this to get going and the builds look completely normal, I do want to, again, thank you for checking out ArtosisCasts. I hope that you've been enjoying the games lately. I know I did miss like 3 days there or whatever it was when I was traveling. Sorry about that. No gigantic 2-week trips anymore. That would be very rare. But yeah, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment. All those things are really super helpful. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. This has become one of my absolute favorite things that I do, which is funny because honestly, when I started, wasn't that way as much. Like, I mean, I like casting StarCraft 1 games, but I don't know. I think it's become a lot more fun lately, especially where I can kind of have a wider range of players to cast because of Seawall, right? I think that's been a big improvement. So it's like, oh, I'm looking for this matchup. Oh, I'm looking for this map. Oh, you know, I'm looking for these pros, and you can kind of go and find it, which is great. Anyways, the End Scout comes out from Rush. We see the Nexus coming up, and that's a very normally timed Nexus. In fact, this timing of Nexus, if he had started a third depot, he would have potential to bust, right? So if you see Nexus like around 3 minutes, then oftentimes they're doing it off one Dragoon with no range. And in that situation, like if you make nothing but Marine, Vulture, SCV, you can generally bust that Nexus. Now here, it was like closer to 310, so then it becomes a little bit, it's like, okay, actually, do we have range first? It really makes a big difference if they have range first, because if they slow it enough, their range will eventually bust the bunker that you make. Anyways, none of that really matters right now. We have some great micro going on from Rush. I mean, not from Rush, from Ruin here. And he actually kills the 3 Marines with the Dragoon, which is not that common. The 3 Marines are supposed to beat the Dragoon. I believe what happened there was that he probably brought his probe up for a hit while I was talking about other things and looking at his base. But yeah, if you bring the probe up to attack as well, a probe plus a Dragoon kills 3 Marines. Now the tank comes out and will pop that. You might look at that and say, wow, that's kind of weird. But if there was a Vulture out in the map, which there's not, that tank would have been a lot later. So anyways, he gets the Dragoon. Maybe a little mistake there from Ruin. SCV gets in, sees the Robo, sees range, sees a second gate. That's a ton of information that Rush has gathered here. So really well done by Rush. We have mines coming up. We have a Vulture being made. And yeah, it looks like a very solid little push coming out. This is actually something that could be not... This won't kill Ruin, but if you don't micro perfect here as Ruin, you're going to be in for a bad time. The fact that he already lost a Dragoon is pretty tough. And in fact, see, here comes the third one. He would have four Dragoons, one shot a Marine, and they two shot a tank. So the fact that he has three, he needs an extra volley against everything. It makes a huge, huge difference. But yeah, up comes these two tanks and a few Marines. He's putting a lot of damage on, and as the Vulture comes up to lay some mines as well, it's going to make it even harder. And you can see, right, he gets two volleys off there and still can't kill it. Look at the amount of extra damage he's taking. It's insane. Loses the Dragoon, and now Rush will start to push in, so you can see that damage. Now, at this point, it's likely the tank won't make it out, but there is still a possibility he kills several probes. Another Vulture comes out and is just going to lay some mines here to kind of zone that back. Okay, this game is looking like it's going heavily Rush favored. Now, another mine gets laid. The Observer's coming up, so this is going to be able to push back, but against just two Dragoons, this army can kind of fight because it takes the shields so quickly, but it looks like he wants to pull back, and I can't disagree with this. I think anytime you pressure with an early build like this, as long as you save tanks from it, like if it's a 2-tank pressure and you save 1 tank, or it's a 3-tank pressure and you save 2 tanks, basically what I'm trying to say, it's okay to lose a tank. But if you lose more than that, it can actually get a little bit out of hand, especially against something like this where it's, right, this is 3-gate range. So Ruin is going to actually have a lot of units, and if you don't have like ample units at home, you're going to have a hard time. And 1 siege tank is not always enough for that. But here with 2 siege tanks, you know, he's about to have siege mode. He has another tank halfway done. He has a bunker. He should be completely fine. So that turned out to be just an absolutely fantastic early game push from Rush. I absolutely love it. I think he executed it awesomely. And well, it wasn't a rush, but it was a pressure, right? Anyways, the Dragoons run in, and you can see, right? Like, imagine if there was only 1 tank here, right? If there was only 1 tank there, he snipes it, and then he backs up and hits the bunker, and it's like, okay, and now you just have this tank up here, and now he snipes on this side, and if you move it too far forward, maybe he can dive in. But anyways, obviously none of that happened, but I do like to kind of take these quiet moments to point out why I'm saying some of these things. Like, it's really important to not lose more than 1 tank in that early game. Now, a 3rd base is going up here for Ruin, and he's in fact going for a robotic support base. So we're going to have some Reaver drops coming up. This is very Ruin. Okay, so he had to go for the 3rd gate because of the early pressure from Rush. But going into the Reaver, he should be getting speed shuttles as well, I would imagine. Ruin is very much a speed shuttle player. He's very much a player that bombs in consistently. You know, with the... Yeah, and see, there it is. The shuttle speed gets started. He's a player that loves to run in with speed shuttles that have, you know, Reavers, High Templars later on, lots of Zealots in there. And taking this 3rd base in this kind of forward position... what this kind of tells us about this game is that Ruin is going to be making a lot of units, okay? So if you wanted to skimp a bit more, you might take this, like if you wanted to focus more on tech. But if you're going to focus more on units, you can say, okay, because look, we're in close spawns, which Terran prefers, but if Rush pushes, it's not that far. If Rush takes this location, the game ends, okay? You kill this base, plus you're, you know, centimeters from taking over the natural, and then they can't rally out. So what Ruin is committing to here is heavy units. Now, he's got the Reavers that are coming out, and he's got the speed coming up for that shuttle. And notice that he has added that 4th gate, like, immediately. And so this is just so that he can have a ton of units, and if a push comes, he can hold it. Now, Rush is going up to 5 factories quickly. He's actually getting range for his Goliaths. This is going to allow him to shoot down those shuttles that come in with the Reavers and everything. He does have the comsats, so of course he can check what's going on at any time. And the Reaver drop is getting ready to come in. We don't actually have any missile turrets over here. We have a couple like reasonably well-placed mines, and that's it. And as the Observer sees this pushing out, Ruin is going to dive in. He's going to go ahead, kill off that SCV that was making the turret, start slowing some of these. Now, how hard do you want to dive? That's a big question, right? And as he sees the Goliaths and tanks coming up, I think getting out of here is perfect. You need to keep this alive if you're going to hold on against a 5 factory, which, of course, his Observer can see is exactly what's happening here. Now, the +1 upgrade is going to be finishing relatively soon. He has all the upgrades for the factory units, you know, range, for Goliath, siege mode, speed, mines, all that great stuff. And he is just pumping out you know, some vultures and tanks here at the same time. Already made a few Goliaths. 3 Goliaths will 3-shot a shuttle. So that's a very reasonable amount. A lot of times people like 4 because at 2 shots definitely feels like it's worth it there, but it's fine. Just keeping the shuttle away from your siege tanks is incredibly important. Now, it looks like we have a little bit of a vulture raid, and at the same time, Ruin snapping off. Okay, he did save that shuttle. I was like a little bit nervous there for a moment. Because it looked like he was going for a shuttle. Was that the shuttle? Oh, yeah. Okay, he didn't lose the shuttle. Okay. Very important stuff. Anyways, right now, Ruin is up almost 30 army supply. Very close to it, like 25. He's getting ready for another base, getting some Dragoons into position. Rush continues to push out, laying a few mines down. Reavers, these Reavers seem like they might be thinking about slowing units from coming down up here, but like honestly, he's not ready to expand. He's making the command center in his main base. It's really all about holding this push. This is really everything in this game right now. As I said before, if Rush takes this high ground, the game should end. So this is the moment. Like, you have to hold this. He's got the Zealots coming up. He does not. His Zealot legs are about to finish. Double Reaver, 4 Zealots in those shuttles. They do have speed. Okay, this is the important moment. Legs are done. It's time to go. Rush's spread here, very scary indeed. He leads with that shuttle that has the Zealots in it, bombs those Zealots out. The Reavers come out as well and gonna get not the best shots. This back one might get a very good shot here. And as you can see, Ruin seems to have enough units here. He is just charging forward. And yeah, he's gonna be able to completely knock out this push. You know, this game, GG, Ruin is gonna take this game, and I think that Ruined, like, definitely outplayed Rush here. Okay, so the important moment, I do want to jump back and talk about this for a moment. Hold on. Okay, so you see, yeah, hold on. Let me just fast forward for a moment. And I do want to see when the comm stats are. Because, like, you know, here's the thing. You don't get all the information, you know, in TVP. You don't... or in any matchup in this game, really, right? You don't see every single thing that's going on, and the more you see, the better decisions you can make, right? Which is why scouting can be very, very important. Of course, it's not everything. Just macroing well can be a big part of it. What I'm looking for here, guys, is the timing of the Academy, because that really tells us what information Rush was working with. So we'll see that in a moment. There's the Academy being made in this bottom corner. Okay, so we're going to wait. We're going to turn off the vision here of the Protoss player. So see, right now, he's just macroing up. He's setting out his vultures. Going to add up to 5 factories. Nothing here is wrong or bad. Now, look, he's got... that's a good mine. This is a really good mine. So he sees that there's no base here. And then the vultures will run up to this side. Now, the odds of the bases over here being taken, unless you're against a B-rank Protoss, are very low. Here, maybe it's slightly higher. We'll see exactly where he scouts. He doesn't actually go all the way. Honestly, here, he should have sent probably 1 vulture around the map, but at the pro level, people don't really expand to those bases, right? But anyways, this is what I'm waiting for, is these comm sats. Okay? So he sees that this is a base. Okay, use the first comm sat to kill an observer, which is... it's not a bad choice. Use another scan to kill an observer. Now, here's my problem with what we see here, right? He uses 2 scans to kill observers, which is good. Using energy on a comsat to kill a 2575 unit that gives vision is good, but we've already seen the 5 factory. So if you see the 5 factory as Ruin, you're thinking, okay, this is a push that's coming in, almost certainly. Now, we never saw a scan into the main base. He has no idea the gateway count or anything like that. He does know that this mine got cleared. So now, if this was an instantly taken 4th base, this 5 factory push makes a lot of sense. You push up here, you maybe can kill this off because Protoss was getting too greedy, over making probes, making another Nexus. Here, he doesn't have any information other than the fact that there is a Reaver and there is a Nexus here. So, in like, if you scan and see the main base, we're gonna just fast forward this for a moment. Another scan goes down, but it was for an observer. Continues to harass a bit there and just pushes. Looks like there he scanned where the army was. So there wasn't a lot of decision-making here at all for Rush, right? Ruin took this, and we'll go ahead and show the vision now. Ruin took this third base while going Reaver and just added gateways, right? So he was originally on 3. He added 3 more, and there's another, right? So he was going up to 7 gates plus Robo. And I'm sorry that this is a long-winded one, but this is actually, for me personally, this is a very interesting and important thing to talk about because there's so many, you know, StarCraft 1 is such a hard game. There's so many flaws, even from the very top players. And you can see that it's like, okay, if you realize, like, let's see, he used a scan here and notice how many gates, and he maybe checked here, right? And notice no base. You would never push with this. Your opponent is making a ton of units. So what you do is you just sit here and outscale them because you're Terran. But instead he pushed and ran right into exactly what Ruin wanted him to do. So some poor decision-making here. Well, it's not exactly poor decision-making because he had no information, but he chose to not have information. He chose to kill observers. So anyways, guys, that's my analysis of how that game went. A little bit like, I don't like that style of play, but that it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later.